Hello, my friends. Welcome once again to Faith Walk 101. We are so glad that you could join us. You know, it's if you ever planted a garden, it's can be a real challenge if you don't know what you're doing. And if we go all the way back to the beginning in Genesis, where Adam and Eve actually walked in the garden of paradise. And so, but from the very beginning, God had a plan. He prepared the world for us, this earth, and He had commanded some instructions. Um, and these instructions were to help man to know exactly how to till the garden. But then there's chastisements because He loves us, and God has to judge because He's a just God. So God does everything for a purpose. Just like when we have a garden, when we plant things in the garden, it's for to produce vegetables and fruits that we can eat on. But everything that God does has a purpose. He has a plan, and what He does is God prepares. Everything He does, He prepares. Just like when we plant a garden, we don't just throw the seeds out in the yard. We prepare the ground to get ready to sow the seeds. And that is very important. So we're going to be looking in the book of Genesis. We're going to go all the way back to the beginning. And sometimes it's very important because when we go back to the beginning, we get this foundation of how things really should be. And a lot of times it's not until we go back to the beginning that we realize just how far we have drifted off. And that happens so often. God has a plan, He has a purpose, and yes, there's a reason why He does what He does. So listen to this wonderful way God prepared a place for us. So He turned on the lights of this world. We find that in Genesis. From the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. So He turns on the light for us. He's getting the earth ready for us. He separates light from darkness. He separates water from water and dry ground from water. And He said, let the land produce according to various kinds. He just slung the stars in the sky, so to speak, the sun and the moon. He separated day from night, and what he did was he took as he separated day from night, it was to serve as signs to mark seasons. He created every living creature, those that fly in the sky, fly in the sky and walk on the earth and live in the sea. And those are to produce according to their kind. Keep in mind, He is preparing a place for you and I on this earth. Genesis 1:27. So God created man in His own image, male and female, He created them. God blessed them, and He said to them, be fruitful, increase in number, fill the earth, and subdue it. Key word, subdue it. He says, rule over every living creature that moves on the ground. In the beginning, man was to bring creation into submission, because through this command, God told him to subdue the earth and rule over it. Creation was never to rule over us. But the book of Genesis is really about redemption as we look into it. But from the very beginning, when we look as man walked in the garden of paradise, God has always had a plan. None of this was haphazardly done. And that should be a great example for us when we plant our gardens or whatever we do. It is not done haphazardly. We don't just at the spur of the moment do things. It is a plan. We get prepared, and then we go forward and we do those things. So we want to see in the book of Genesis as we study it a little bit more how God is preparing things for us and how this redemption plan is going to come about uh, when He comes and redeems us, and now we have eternal life because of He took away our sin when He hung on the cross. It is a wonderful thing, this redemptive plan that Jesus put in place, and it just didn't happen 2,000 years ago. The plan was in place back in Genesis. When you look into Ephesians, uh, Paul writes, before the foundations of the world, He had already chosen and already had this plan in place. Thank you, my friends. Continue to join us on Faith Walk 101 as we talk more about the things that happened in the beginning that has such a great impact on us today, and why it's so important that we understand about what beginnings are all about.